Alright everybody, here I am for my second pen review, or I guess it's an unboxing. It's not really a review because I haven't used it yet. I haven't even seen it yet. So I have been waiting about 2.5 days to open this box. I have had the flu in bed to the point where I didn't even want to write in my journal. So last night I wrote in my journal and all I could think about was opening this pen. So today, still not back to 100%, but I really want to use this pen, so I'm going to do my unboxing and initial impressions on the pen now and ink this thing up and write with it a little bit, and then I'll do a review on it later. But today I have a Visconti, obviously, and the story behind this is I believe it's called the Medici is how you pronounce it. Has been out for a little while, and it kind of has this like flat wood-looking resin-based body to it with really nice gold accents. Really beautiful pen. I've been kind of on the tipping point of buying it, not buying it, and then I think it was about 3 weeks ago, there was these things popping up on all the pen sites about a special edition being released. And that edition was called the Viola. And the Viola is supposed to be this really beautiful kind of bluish purple swirling resin with the same rose gold accents. And when I saw it, I was just, I don't know what it was, I was just kind of hooked. I already had liked the Medici, and now when I saw this one, I just felt like I had to get it. And I went to look and they weren't even available yet. And then one site was allowing you to pre-order them. So it took me a few days to finally decide to order it and pick a nib size. But I did pre-order it last, I think it was last Tuesday, they released them and shipped it to me. And I have had it sitting in this box ever since I got it in the mail, and I have not looked at it yet. And I'm dying to open this box, but I wanted to do it on camera. So again, this is the Visconti, I believe it's Medici is how you say it, Viola. And this is in an extra fine nib. And I'm gonna go ahead and open it now, just get my initial reactions, and then we'll go into some close-ups and more details on the pen. But initially, it will come in a box like this, which is just kind of a slip cover. This is almost the exact same box that my Rembrandt S came in. I think it's a little bit bigger, but almost the same box. It does say Visconti on it, so this looks pretty familiar so far, but I guess here we go. Whoa. Okay, this thing is amazing. All right, just real quick. Comes in a plastic sleeve. Holy cow. It's beautiful. I'm gonna have to reposition the camera so I can get some close-ups, but this thing is just stunning. It is absolutely beautiful. So this looks like a very familiar nib, looks just like my Crystal Dream, but this is an extra fine. I got the fine in the Crystal Dream. Okay, so the initial impression of this pen when you open the box, it's better than the pictures. It's absolutely beautiful. I say the pictures don't do it justice. It's a very nice gloss, like swirled purpley blue resin. And the clip, I know Visconti got a lot of crap for having, you know, laser engraved name on their clip, and they've gone back to the enamel inlay that says Visconti. I don't know if I can get that to focus. There we go. So that looks very nice with the very deep purpley blue enamel inside the rose gold. And then that ink window, I mean, find me a more beautiful ink window. I'd love to see one, because I don't think you're gonna find one. It's just absolutely gorgeous with the gold lilies in there. That just looks stunning. And the fact that once the ink's in there, you're gonna be able to see the ink level. That just looks really, really, really awesome. Honestly, one of the things that sold this pen to me basically was that ink window, when I was originally gonna get the brown version before they came out with this. Now, there is only gonna be 88 of these released, and I believe it's a US only release, but 88 worldwide, and well, 87 now because this one's here. So, but the last time I checked, I went on just to see, you know, how quickly they were selling out. The only size they had left was actually this size right here, which is extra fine. All the other sizes were gone already. So within less than a week, this thing is completely sold out. So you might be able to find an extra fine somewhere, but at this point, you either have to buy it secondhand probably, or, you know, well, that's the only way you're gonna be able to do it. Just either hopefully find some random site online that might have one left, or buy it secondhand, because I think all of the major pen outlets have already sold out pretty much. So that's kind of neat to have a pen that's that limited. There's very few things in this world that there's only 88 of them. So I thought that was kind of neat. But yeah, I mean, overall initial impressions, it's beautiful. And, you know, all of these, the body lines on the pen line up very well, even with the, when you know, close the cap, when you release the power fill mechanism and tighten it back up, you know, one little good like securing snug like that, and everything is nice and lined up. So that's really nice. I love this. I do like this power fill function. I have it on my Crystal Dream from Visconti. The only thing is, it is kind of a pain in the butt to clean. So it's one of those things where you kind of want to have like a favorite ink that matches the pen, and you know that's what you're going to want to use in that pen, and kind of stick with it for a while. And then, you know, if you want to switch inks, maybe do it, you know, every couple months or so. It's not something like a cartridge, you know, converter where you can switch inks out all the time. It's really just kind of a time-consuming pain in the butt to make sure that you get all of the ink out of here. Can you do it? Yes, but it is kind of a pain. It takes some time. And the way these work, basically you pull this out, and then it doesn't actually suck the ink in. It's when you push the piston back in, when it gets to almost the end, it just kind of releases. You hear that little click, and it'll actually start to suck the ink into the pen itself. It works pretty well. Actually, it works very well. As long as you keep it submerged up to here. You have to keep it a little bit above that. Or you get Visconti's traveling inkwell. That thing works amazing for this system. It works amazing for any vacuum fill or piston fill pen. Doesn't matter which sizes. I've used it on all kinds of pens, from Sailors to Visconti's. So it works on pretty much all the pens, and it reduces the mess. And it actually, when you flip this thing upside down, you do that, I mean, it fills almost the entire thing up in one pump, which is pretty awesome, and there's no mess. So that's awesome. I'm super excited to fill this thing up and write with this pen, because I did buy, like I said, the Crystal Dream in a fine, because I like to write small in my journal. And I bought the Rembrandt S in a medium, which was just a little bit too bold for how small I like to write my cursive letters. So when I bought the fine, I was expecting it to be at least noticeably smaller than the medium, but it really wasn't, just because of how much wetter these nice, you know, 14, or these are 18 karat gold, I believe. Yeah, these are 18 karats. So these 18 karat gold nibs are much wetter, I think, than the standard Visconti nibs that you get on like the Rembrandts. I don't know what the material is they use on those nibs, but they're pretty standard. I believe it's just steel nibs. But these seem to write it's a much nicer flow and feel to the nib. And because of that, the fine was almost the same size. It was basically unnoticeably different than the medium. So that's why I went with the extra fine, because I usually spend 99% of my time when I'm writing very small in cursive, and I like to be able to make out the definition of the letters. So that's why I decided on the extra fine. Really hoping it writes great, because total mixed reviews on YouTube about the writing quality of Viscontis. Some people they get their pens and they love the way they write, and then other people get them and the nibs won't write at all. And I've heard horrible issues with them trying to send it back and getting them fixed. But just looking at it, I mean, it's all aligned, nothing looks bent. It looks basically like my Crystal Dream nib, so I can't imagine this thing's gonna write bad. And I can't wait to get it inked up and actually do some writing samples here. So that's what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna go ahead and ink this thing up, and then I will write with it for a little bit, and then I will do a writing sample for everybody, and we will see what I think about the pen once I've written with it. But as far as the looks go, it's absolutely stunning. Oh, and the way it feels in my hand, it feels really nice. You know, I have large hands, it fits right in there perfectly. I wouldn't put the cap on it. I don't like to write that way anyways. But, you know, when you have, in my mind, when you buy a pen this nice, you don't want to risk, you know, scuffing up the barrel of the pen. I would rather just leave it like this. And I like writing like this. I think it feels very nice. But it feels, you know, very balanced. It's not as heavy as my Crystal Dream, but it's also not made of lava rock, so I didn't really expect it to be. But it does feel very solid and heavy because of I guess it has all brass mechanisms inside there for the piston filling mechanism, so that's what gives it its kind of heft there. But I really like that. I like a good, fat, heavy pen. So it feels great in my hand. I'm gonna get it inked up, do some writing, and then we will do an actual little review on what I think about the pen after I've written with it. Okay, so again, it's the Visconti Medici Viola, and it's in an extra fine nib. The Sailor Magno Kanji ink, it's a blue, and as you can see there, I can write upside down actually very well with this pen, and you know, obviously it writes very well in the proper form. As you can see, it's a very, very nice, neat line. I'd say it's the perfect width if you like to write small in a journal like I do. But honestly, it's one of those things that I wish everyone could experience the nib itself. It has an extremely nice bounce and flow to the writing itself. And it really does add to the experience of writing. And honestly, I feel like it almost makes me a better penman. It makes my penmanship that much better. So it's not only is it absolutely beautiful to look at this pen, but it writes like an absolute dream. And I honestly have a hard time going back to any other pen at this point. It's almost like taken away from my other pens in a sense that it's just such a joy to write with. Not that I don't enjoy writing with my other pens, but for some reason when I'm writing with my other pens, I just keep thinking about the way that this one feels. Along with my Homo Sapien Crystal Dream, that one is in a fine. It's a little bit obviously broader of a stroke, but they both have that same kind of very nice flex to them. So let me move the camera and I'll talk about this pen a little bit more. Okay everybody, so that was my brief little review on this beautiful Visconti Medici Viola. If you have the means to get it, I highly recommend this pen. It does feel very nice in your hands. I don't find the hook lock mechanism to interfere with my grip at all. I just barely touch it with the inside tip of my finger, and you can't even really tell it's there when you're writing. So that is not a problem at all. I actually think it's very comfortable. It's actually very nice to use because you just a little quick quarter turn and the cap is off. Actually, I don't even think it is a quarter turn. Might be a little bit less than that. So it's very easy to take on and off. The pen itself is just absolutely beautiful. The video is not going to do it justice. When you see this thing in person, you see all the little sparkles and swirls and the depth of the black. It just has a personality of its own. Now, this is just me being kind of picky. Again, it doesn't affect how I feel about the pen, but you know, with the cost of the pen and the fact that there's only 88 of them being made, I would just have thought they would have used a little bit more, I guess paid a little bit more attention to how well this little screw cap here for the piston fill matches the body and cap of the pen. I don't know if it's just because it's too difficult for them to get it that way, but if you look at the tip, I don't know if I can even focus on it, but as you can see, the barrel of the pen, the cap of the pen, they have these really intricate swirling deep black areas, you know, and it just has this really cool flowing kind of characteristic to it, whereas the this little end piece right here that actually controls the power fill mechanism, it's pretty much just the purple with some sparkles in it. There's not very much as far as the swirling effect of the black. In fact, there's almost no black at all. So it goes from this almost completely plain purple with a little bit of sparkle into this beautiful, you know, deep swirling black design with the deep purple and blue in there. So it really does, it's very noticeable when you have the pen in your hand that it doesn't almost look like even the same resin. But again, it's just, this is me being very nitpicky. Now, the body lines line up very well when you close it and you give it a little snug. So it's nice and firm. It is actually, everything is lined up perfectly. There is no, you know, differentiation between the piston fill screw cap here and the actual body of the pen. So that's very nice. Same with the cap, you know, all the body lines match up as they go down into the cap once it's in the lock position. The inkwell, I mean, good luck finding a more beautiful inkwell than that. I don't know if I can get it to focus, but I mean, the ink window is just absolutely stunning. So, and I'm really happy that Visconti went back to using the enamel inlay for their name. That looks very nice, especially in the purple. And yeah, I don't know what to say about this pen other than the fact that it's absolutely stunning. It's an absolute dream to write with. Now, obviously, you probably can't get this pen anymore. They are sold out. You might be able to find some on eBay or some other, you know, used pen sites at some point. But you can buy this same exact pen in just the regular brown and gold, which looks, I think, that's what I was gonna buy that pen until this popped up. I was like this close to actually making the purchase, and then all of a sudden this popped up on coming soon, a coming soon email. I can't remember if it was the Goulet Pen Company or Pen Boutique or whatever that actually sent me that email. But as soon as I saw this, I held off and I made this purchase as soon as the pre-orders were available. But beautiful pen. I recommend getting one in the regular finish, just because of how amazing it writes. You know, if you have any doubts, you didn't know if it was gonna write good and that was the only thing holding you off, definitely buy it. It's gonna be probably one of your, if not your favorite pen that you own. And I would recommend the extra fine nib. I have both the fine, medium, and extra fine from Visconti. And if you like to write in a journal and write small, I would say this is the perfect size. It's not scratchy. It has a ton of ink flow for the size. And I think that it's definitely a little bit more enjoyable to write with than like a Sailor extra fine or fine. So I'm very happy I purchased this. Maybe I'll do another review after I have, you know, a couple months worth of use into this pen. But again, just an absolute dream pen to own, and I'm so glad that I got one. So thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it helped you, you know, maybe choose the purchase of your next pen. But again, the Medici, Visconti Medici Viola, beautiful pen. And I'll see you on the next video, everybody.